People are always proud of many things about themselves. Religion, science, poetry, even cinema are all part of that pride. But behind all these amazing achievements, there is one simple thing, and that is intelligence. We often think of intelligence as a kind of power, but when we try to define it, the idea becomes complicated. What is intelligence? There's no single answer to that question. Dear viewers, today we're going to talk about this very topic. But before we begin, a small request. If you want to get updates on our new videos, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Intelligence is, at its core, a strategy that humans have used again and again just to survive. Think about it. Finding food, seeking shelter, or coming up with ways to escape danger. Even competing for mates, or just staying alive among others. These survival tactics, this is what we call intelligence. It's not just about knowing, it's about learning too. The ability to absorb new information and use it when necessary. With it comes creativity, the power to come up with new solutions, and the ability to think through complex problems. This intelligence reveals itself through our actions and behavior. Different levels of awareness and the natural urge to learn, all of these are part of it. Yet scientists still don't fully agree where intelligence came from or how to define it precisely. Because intelligence is deeply connected with consciousness, and consciousness plays a vital role in solving problems. So what exactly is intelligence? It's hard to define precisely, therefore we can think of it as a combination of various skills and strategies, or simply put, it's like a toolbox. Inside it, there are some very basic tools. Among these fundamental tools are the ability to gather information and to store it, and the ability to use that information to learn. We receive information about the world through our eyes, ears, nose, taste, and touch. These senses don't just give information, they also help us understand the environment and respond accordingly. A living creature must always be aware of its own bodily condition. If it cannot understand hunger or fatigue, it will not survive. Information is the foundation of existence for every living being. Without information, it must rely solely on the mercy of the environment. But gathering information alone is not enough. It must also have the capacity to retain it. That's why memory is our second fundamental tool. Memory means not having to relearn something repeatedly. This makes learning and teaching more effective. This memory can be about an event, place, companion, or society. Or it can be behavior-based, like hunting techniques or ways of making things. To acquire these behaviors or skills, practice is necessary, just like how we learn to walk or swim through repeated effort.
Through practice, we learn to perform certain tasks continuously. This is a kind of skill. And it is on these skills that the main foundation of intelligence is built. These three fundamental abilities help even simple, humble creatures do surprising things. For example, take the single-celled slime mold. This slime mold has no brain, yet its behavior shows remarkable intelligence. For example, to find food, it spreads its body out and searches around. When it encounters an obstacle for the first time, it recognizes it. And the next time it avoids that path, so it can reach its goal with less time and effort. However, this behavior is innate. It is not learned, but natural. Because of this, scientists hesitate whether to call it true intelligence. Still, this behavior has its advantage, and that is important. But an even better example is the honeybee. Scientists have trained honeybees to drop a colored ball into a specific hole, and as a reward, they receive sugar. This is not their natural behavior, but they can learn it. This ability is intelligence. Solving more complex problems requires more skills and finer methods. Creatures with more complex structures excel at these tasks. They not only have the basics, but also preserve a collection of techniques and knowledge. This, which is useful for the future, we can call a library of knowledge. Beyond these techniques, there is one thing that sets us apart: creativity. The ability to create something that did not exist before. When memory and skill combine and we find new solutions, that is creativity. Creating something entirely new from old things, that is true intelligence. Like a primate using a stick to catch ants, or an octopus using coconut shells to make a safe shelter. They even prepare for the future in advance. This preparation is planning. Planning means thinking ahead about how to achieve a specific goal. And when sudden changes come, adapting that plan to the new situation. This is also an impressive aspect of intelligence. We also see these behaviors in squirrels. They store food for the future. That's natural. But behind it is calculation. They calculate the quality, weight, and effort of the food. What should be eaten now, and what should be saved for later. Sometimes they even learn to deceive others, like showing an empty nut while hiding a real one. This shows they know someone is watching and wants the same thing. The more complex life becomes, the harder the problems become. And solving these problems requires using many tools together. Humans have moved exactly in that direction. That is why we have the most complex and powerful intellectual toolbox. The greatest gift of this toolbox is culture. It spreads our knowledge from generation to generation. No one person could ever build a rocket alone. But the culture of working together and learning through ages has made it possible. This way, we have built a world in our own way. But at the same time, we have brought new challenges. Facing problems like climate change, antibiotic resistance. To solve these problems, we need to think beyond our present survival and focus on the distant future. We already have the toolbox, we just need to use it correctly.